folks doing? I was down for a few days. Had a little touch of the bronchitis. Called the doc up. The doc actually didn't even want me to come in and be seen. Wanted to do a virtual appointment or send me to get corona tested. And I'm like, well, doc, I don't have fucking corona. I mean, a couple reasons. A, I don't have it. And B, I have no symptoms of corona. My problem is I'm coughing up shit. I'm coughing up shit because I'm a 22-year smoker. And it hurts whenever I breathe deeply. Other than that, I got no symptoms, doc. No fever, no dry cough, no anything. Shortness of breath. I mean, I can breathe. It hurts. So, doc says, all right, well, come on in. We'll get you checked out. My main concern with the virtual appointment was I wanted her to be able to listen to my lungs. I don't know about everybody else. I'm a little old-fashioned. You go to a doctor, you having problems like that, it's a good idea if they listen to your lungs. They need to check your lungs out. Make sure your lungs don't have no crazy sounds in them, no rattling, no wheezing, you know. After all, I am 41 years old. Like I said, I am a 22, 23-year smoker. Yes, I'm fairly healthy. I eat pretty good. I've worked out pretty substantially. Exercise, you know, I'm active. I'm not just one of those people who lay around. Matter of fact, I never watch the TV. I never play a video game. Nothing. I'm always on the go. The stress gets to me though. And here lately I've been really down. Not about anything going on in my personal life. I've got, you know, the people in my personal life that matter to me. People that I love. I have great relationships with them. No problems there. But I've been down because of what's going on in this country. You know, it actually affects me to that point to see what is going on in this country, that it actually brings me down and hurts. And I'm like, you know, I'm just a simple guy from the fucking country. I make no bones about it. I'm not a fucking Ivy League educated asshole. I'm not some guy who went and got some fucking big degree to prove everybody how smart I was. I'm just a common sense, down to earth, working class, tax paying country boy. That's fucking what I am. I love the country. I love where I live. I love where I'm at. But I've been so down because I see the direction this country's going. And I can see the hate in this country. Now, I went through school, obviously, and during school, they tried to indoctrinate me with that same bullshit. The difference was, I had parents at the house that told me what the world was really about. So they couldn't indoctrinate me with that shit. And even now, I don't know how people... If you can look me in my face and tell me that Black Lives Matter is not an extension of the Democratic Party the same way that the KKK was an extension of the Democratic Party, then you're a fucking hypocrite or you're ignorant. It's one of the two. You can't have it both ways. You have a fucking political movement across this country right now, whether it be Antifa, Black Lives Matter, the progressive movement, the socialist movement, all of these movements across the country right now that want to destroy America. Now, I don't know about all this white privilege shit, all this other shit that I hear constantly. I'm going to tell you my life. I grew up not necessarily like the hardest it could have been, but I grew up hard. And I worked hard, and I've worked and scratched and clawed my way to where I'm at. I never fucking sat on the sidelines. If it took me working 12 years on a fucking shift I hated, I did it. I did what I had to do to get ahead in life. We've got these kids that are too lazy to fucking do that these days. I mean, it's insane. They want everything given to them free. So they're going out and they're expressing their voices. That's fine, express your voice. But don't say, because I believe differently, that I am a racist, that I am a misogynist, that I'm a homophobe, any of that shit, because I've been around all types, creeds, people in my life. Every single one of them I treated with respect, I treated them with dignity. Until they cross me, I have no reason to treat them badly. I judge them by who they are, not the content of their, I judge them by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. I don't judge them by who they like to sleep with. I don't give a shit, they're not sleeping with me. Why do I care who they're sleeping with? I shouldn't. Back to the same thing, if you look at the same principle of the government overreach, gay marriage, you know, we had that big thing go on. Guess what? The government never had the actual power to tell you who you can marry. That's why that shit never made no sense to me. Our government outreach right now and overreach is way out of control. Way out of control. It's gonna hit a fucking boil over point. The socialists have hijacked half of the movements. Let's say Black Lives Matter, BLM. Let's say BLM started out as a actual movement where people were concerned about a situation. They said, okay, let's go protest, let's make a movement, let's try to fix this situation. Once it started gaining a little power and a little voice, it was hijacked by a fucking socialist. People can't say that. It was hijacked by the Democratic Party. And it blows my mind that people can't see this. It blows my mind that people still hold the Democrats in the high esteem that they do, when they have done nothing but try to destroy this country ever since its founding. Well, they were fine as long as everybody was in their place. Now, once people started rising up and becoming something and wanting something more out of this country, the Democrats have tried to destroy it. They don't care about anything but control, because they don't care about anything but their wealth, the power that they can get. Now, this is what they say about the Republicans. Well, guess what? The Republicans are sorry bastards, most of them. And I'll put it like this. They're lazy, they're fucking cowards, and they'd rather fucking hide at the fucking house than be out there fighting. They don't want to come to Capitol Hill and cause a scene. They don't want to be labeled as a fucking racist, a homophobe, none of that shit. Well, guess what? You can only label people that if they actually behave that way. And I've said this before, the people who do behave that way are the fucking progressives. If you look at their policies say you cannot, because you're a person of color, you cannot achieve the same thing I can because you don't have the ability unless I help you up. That's what their policies say, which I think is horse shit. I do not believe in it, and I think it's bullshit. I believe every person, no matter who you are, where you're born, in this country, this great country that we live in, can work hard, figure out what you're good at, figure out what your passions are, and fight your way out of whatever mess you're in, because I've seen it too many times. Now, if you're lazy, or if you just don't want to fight that hard, or if you're not willing to do the things it takes to get where you're trying to get, well, that's on you. Don't blame me for that shit. I wasn't fucking holding you down. I wasn't doing anything. All I was doing was going to work trying to get mine, trying to take care of my family. I wasn't fucking with your life. People have got to wake up, quit getting fed this fucking bullshit and just believe in it. And like I said, I've been really down about this shit lately. I've been really down about it. I felt like it's just a repeat of history over and over and over again. But the only thing is the problems that were there, they're not there anymore. We're making up shit to try to make it a problem. When we get to the point that we're making up shit to try to make it a problem, then we're fucking up. I'll be back. So like I say, I have been down over what's going on. And don't confuse down with fear. The last time I was in fear, I was 20 years old in a project with some people I should have never been around to begin with when gunplay happened. That was the last time I felt fear. After that, there was never another time where I felt fear. What I feel now is more or less almost like a calm before a storm. Like, I can see where the country's headed, and I can see what kind of effects it's going to have, and most people are not ready for those effects and those consequences. Some of our vets coming back from overseas, yeah, they're probably ready. But most Americans are not ready. People like me, who've grown up the way I grew up, who went through the stages in life I went through to get to where I'm at right now, we don't have a big sense of fear. I have very high anxiety, but I don't have a sense of fear. And I guess that's got me through my life so far. But as I was down about this, I really got to thinking about this, and I'm thinking about all the people I know. All the people I know. And I start even just thinking about my own family. I got a family that will click-clack, load it up tomorrow, ready for war if it comes to that. Without hesitation. There will be no hesitation. My mama, 60 years old, will grab her shit, be ready to roll up out the house. No problems. My brother, have you met my brother? Let me introduce y'all. Now the bad thing is, in the younger years, people would have always said I was the worst one to run into, because if there was a problem, I was going in your jaw. If you took it to weapons and gunplay, I was going there. No hesitation. It was going to be what it was. One of us was either going to get beat up, or one of us wasn't going to make it out. But I wasn't taking no shit from you, and I wasn't going to run. Never was a coward. But, back to the topic at hand. When I look around, and I just look at the people I know, I can look at my own family, I can look at the neighbors, I can look at the people down the road, I can look at the people I've met throughout my whole entire life. They're not down with this shit. They're not going to take this shit. We have a fucking war chest. We have a war chest. We open this bitch up and we got weapons to hand to everybody. We got enough weapons to take on a fucking SWAT team. And there's so many more Americans like me that can do this, that have kept their self in fucking good shape, that shoot guns on a regular basis, that know how to handle themselves, that know how to, we don't just know how to fucking fight, we know how to fight, we know how to shoot, we know how to hunt, we know how to fish, we know how to live off the land, we know how to take care of ourselves very well. And there's a whole country of people like me that believe in this country and believe that this is the greatest country on earth. This is a country that may not have always been perfect, but we have made leaps, bounds, and strides to be more perfect. We believe in the ideas that our Constitution says, the God-given rights to every man, woman, and child, regardless of any skin color, regardless of anything else, whether it be sexual orientation, anything. We believe they have that right, regardless of religion. Everybody should be able to be free to worship how they choose to worship. That's what our Constitution says. The country is going the exact opposite direction. They're locking down religion. If y'all haven't noticed, they are locking down religion. They are telling you how you can worship, when you can worship. They're locking down First Amendment speech. 30 years ago, regardless if your message was wrong, right, or indifferent, you had the right to freedom of speech. It didn't matter what you said. That's what's made this country great. And now, if you don't have the same exact belief as everyone else, it's labeled as hate speech. What the fuck is that? Because I don't believe what you believe, I'm being hateful? No, fuck that. The way it's supposed to be is we have ideas, we talk, we use our brains and our voices, and we speak to each other, and we come back and forth with ideas. It's a dialogue. And eventually, one person gains a little bit of ground and we see it, you know, hey, okay, maybe we were wrong. Real fucking men, real women, real people, whatever, admit when they're wrong. Sorry, had to take a call from my daughter. But I guess what I'm getting at and what I'm trying to say is we have a great country. We've got a constitution that protects everyone in the country, as long as you're a citizen of the United States. I believe wholeheartedly that the silent majority of the country, and I hope and pray the silent majority of the country comes out again on November 3rd on Election Day and says, no, we do not want your big government. We do not want your socialism. We do not want any of that. We want to be free Americans, guided by a constitution. And I pray that that's what happens. I'm praying that we have a turnout that just absolutely blows the minds of every person out there trying to basically assume control of a country that doesn't belong to them. This country belongs to the people of this country. It doesn't belong to political organizations. It doesn't belong to left-wing or right-wing hate groups. It doesn't. It belongs to the men and women that get up every day and go to work and bust their ass and pay taxes and take care of their families and raise their kids and try to raise their kids right. It belongs to the countless people of all religions across this country that want to worship in the manner they want to worship, in the place they want to worship, assembling how they want to assemble, because they have that right. The Constitution has granted it. That's who this country belongs to. It doesn't belong to you bureaucrats. It doesn't belong to you 40-year politicians. It's not your country. You are elected to represent the people of the country, and you're not doing it. Democrat or Republican, it doesn't matter. You're not doing it. We should kick all your asses out of office. But I digress from that, and what I will say, I believe wholeheartedly 110%. If the elections go the other way, and I'll say this again, if socialists take control of this country, when they start trying to take 65, 70% of people's working taxes to put on whatever little pet projects they have, to take care of however many people decided they didn't want to grow up and get in the real world and get a job, well, guess what? My money's not going for that. When they start coming door to door trying to take weapons, guess what? I'm gonna fight. There's a lot of people like me that's gonna fight. We fought our whole lives, and we can fight, and we will fight. We will have, and I don't want to call it a war, because I don't want it to be a war. But if you think this is civil unrest, what you are seeing right now, you start taking away the ability for the working class people to feed their families and defend their homes, and you will have something that will totally decimate whatever kind of movements you think you've had up until this point. So that's my warning. That's my warning to all the bureaucrats and all the fucking politicians out there that's been on Capitol Hill and never done anything for this country. That's my warning to you. Test the American people. Test us and see where you get. Quit being afraid, Americans. You gotta quit being afraid. These fringe groups, these fringe elements of society that want to destroy this country, they're not the majority. The problem is the majority is silent. Quit being afraid, people. You can't live your life like a coward and expect it to go good. You've got to stand up for your commitments, for your convictions, for the things you believe in, and you have to let people know this is what I believe. It has nothing to do with this. It has, say they hit you with hate. It has nothing to do with hate. I don't believe in it because of hate. I believe in it because that's what I was raised. These are the morals that were instilled by my parents and me. That you do what's right. You do what you can to help others. You always think about what the consequences are to your actions. You try to help others around you and give others if you got a little extra and somebody's hurting over here, you give them that little extra, get them out of that position where they're not hurting. I mean, there's so many things that Americans do so well. And these fringe elements, they're not gonna shut us down. They're not gonna destroy us. We're not gonna allow it. But you do have to speak up, and you do have to let people know, this is where I stand on this. If you let people know where you stand on this, they can either try to challenge you with facts, or they can shut the hell up. Opinions and feelings do not have a place when it comes to debate. I will repeat that. Opinions and feelings do not have a place when it comes to debate. You debate facts, numbers, statistics. And if you look at them all, the United States is the greatest place on the planet to live. Keep that in mind.